Hello and welcome back to Game 2 between UCLA Esports and ArtU Esports. I am TLG, your caster, and we're getting right into this new game with a whole new draft on both teams, with only Megzi's Caitlyn returning. We'll see top side we have Aurelia Mundo. Jungle we have Gwen Hecarim, Gwen being a very interesting jungle pick. Let's see how it does this game. Kali, Lissandra mid, Vayne, Kate bot, and we'll see once more ArtU liking their 5-man side lane starts, not getting anything out, as Alibye on Nautilus is getting that free knot hook out of there, and of course the last one on the team for ArtU being Big Dumb Jerk on the Bard. We'll see if he uses that as a great roaming tool, but unfortunately that's not going to be too easy for them, as Nautilus Vayne can do some nasty damage the second they get a hold of Caitlyn. So it'll just be very interesting to see how the bot lane is being taken this game, as although Caitlyn does have the upper hand versus Vayne on range, it does inhibit Bard, because as soon as Bard leaves, Nautilus Vayne has a good amount of kill pressure 2v1. So Bard is not going to get the luxury of leaving lane like he would with an Ezreal. So it'll be more difficult on Big Dumb Jerk this game to see how he's able to make use of this. We do see a blue side start for both teams, taking the exact opposite approach of last game, which a red buff side, or red buff start was taken by both teams. We do see that the mid lane has met up, and it's just kind of normal trading right here. I'm particularly interested to see what this Gwen does. So as you can see on the sidebar, already having to smite, not the most healthy jungle, I presume, not very common jungler to say at the very least. And oh, hold on, Poro getting a huge trade off on Mundo. Mundo does have that nice to have passive in which his health comes all the way back, but I don't know how much it'll be able to save him, as Aurelia getting that amount of damage so early can be quite oppressive. Bot side, just normal spacing, kind of have Nautilus and Bard. Nautilus trying to, ooh, and then here we go, the gauge has already started, because nope, not enough, but we do get sums, 3 sums out the side of ArtU. UCLA only using their Ignite. Command Warlord on Hecarim, trying to see if they can change the way this lane is going. Did they manage to do anything? And no, instead Alibye getting a phenomenal hook out. Has to blow 3 sums on the side of UCLA now, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe. Command Wheel. Oh my god, Command Warlord on Hecarim actually goes down. Bard does get a pretty nice double stun out, but it's not enough. Now it's Gwen's turn. Let's see how this one goes. Doggo, okay, Megzi is going to curiously try to kill Doggo, but Doggo is not very threatened, as Megzi would have to go through 3 of them in order to do that. So instead, we just get basically all bot sums out of the way already. Unfortunately, for the side of ArtU, the Doggo is the one that will be able to free lane and get as much of the wave he wants before he decides on leaving, not being too risky and too ego with his stay. We do see here that Temetrius is having a bit easier time farming than Gavin is on Lissandra. Unfortunately for Temetrius, he will not get the E-poke he's looking for. We do have a pretty nice wave on the side of UCLA Esports, tugged close to the tower to First Poro, and it's going to really make it hard for Mundo to do much. Let's see if First Poro can pick up a amount of damage here instead. Oh, maybe. He's opting to go for Mundo all in, will force the flash out, but decides not to continue any further. Mundo 1/3 of the minions that First Poro has. The Aurelia pick really punishing Mundo here. We'll see if Hecarim's able to maybe help him out, but it's hard, it's an Aurelia after all. We do see Lissandra and Akali pretty even in lane so far. Of course, Akali does have the added bonus of not being a mana champ and possibly just waiting out the mana of Gavin in order to make a play, and it seems that as there's a short hover by Gavin, that they're not going to do anything mid-side. We do unfortunately have Mundo going down to Aurelia. We'll see if Hecarim is going to do anything. He'll probably just pick up the wave. Mundo does have TP. First Poro definitely is not going to overstay here. He has no mana, and so Aurelia is not going to be too able to kind of do anything here. Gwen is still farming. We can see already that Gwen's probably not going to be as fast in the jungle as the Hecarim is, who's rather good at farming. Nautilus is looking mid lane. We'll see if he might get a surprise on Lissandra. He does have Hex Flash up. We'll see if he opts into using it. There is no ward of him. And Lissandra is pushing up. Doggo is left 1v2 bot side, but likely not in too much trouble as the wave is pushing into him. Akali does go all in with the Nautilus, and the Ignite will pop Lissandra. Unfortunately for her, I guess the Bard, who's the one supposed to be roaming, isn't able to, as the early game skirmish between the two bot sides ended up giving UCLA Esports a much larger advantage, and Doggo a much easier time dealing with the lane. We do see Gwen here picking up Dragon her lone sum, looking kind of unhealthy. Oh, but never mind. I did not know of this interaction in which she doesn't take dragon damage because of her W. That's totally not an ultimate spell on a W. We do see Alibye going to help out just a bit. We'll be getting that dragon XP, but not much else. Vayne is staying in the lane, and we'll see if anything else spicy goes on. We do have Akali looking for a trade. Not able to really do much other than get a good amount of poke out. Hopefully Lissandra won't get foiled too hard by another gank. We do see that there are 3 people in the bot side river here. Alibye. Not getting too much, just a bit of a small trade between him and Bard. And Temetrius is fine. He's just having a time. He's not too shy on these melee into ranged matchups, and he's doing pretty well doing them, which is rather impressive and a good tell to his strengths. Topside Aurelia is pushing in Mundo pretty hard, and Mundo is not having a fun time CSing. But I guess that's just the life of Mega Mans, who both this game and last game got rather CS gapped. Doggo is slow pushing the wave. Bard is out of the picture, so maybe they're being a bit careful about that at the moment. They do have a control word. Maybe Bard gets caught out here, but they do see Hecarim, I believe, so they're not going to be too risky. Instead, there's going to be a bit of more trading in the mid lane. Gwen has not done much outside of her objective play and her first kind of scuffle in the bot side. So it's interesting to see just how much she can do on that champion. Jungle. Lissandra will have to pop ult, but so will Temetrius in a defensive manner. They're both using it to save their own skins rather than punish the enemy. Doggo is kind of getting hurt here. 2v1 once more as Nautilus will be heading mid. Douyou may be going to get a bit of a cheese as Temetrius comes up. All the CS go, all the Raptors go to Douyou. Made by Gavin, low on mana, all he can do is kind of disengage Douyou here. Aurelia still pushing in the Mundo. Mundo still having a hard time CSing. It seems that UCLA is still pretty solid in their advantages like they were this last game. So we'll just see how they choose to expand their advantages and push in going on. Rift Herald going in well. Gwen is very focused on the objectives as bot side will be basically nearly killing Big Dumb Jerk, but Big Dumb Jerk will not die. We have a lot of pressure here on the bot side. The Bard has not done much to help, and the Nautilus has done a lot to hurt. So we can see that the Caitlyn is pretty down on CS as well. In fact, almost everyone is down on CS. The only one that's not doing too far behind is the Hecarim compared to the Gwen. But all the other lanes have been pretty difficult as Aurelia takes the chance to probably just kill Mundo here. Not really too scared of him as he doesn't do enough damage because it's Mundo. He doesn't really do much damage, period. Gwen will be invading, making Hecarim's life a bit harder. These are great ways of just pushing your lead drastically by just absolutely tanking the opponent's resources. The trades going on by Temetrius here are so heavily favored, but he will have to pop the Shroud as Big Dumb Jerk helps out Gavin. Maybe Temetrius was looking for a bit something more, but will not get anything else. Gwen is hovering topside, so Mundo has a chance of dying when he goes back to lane. We'll just see how aggressive they choose to be. At the very least, she can really hurt him and make him not have enough time, or not have a fun time. As mid does go down to an Akali tower dive. Maybe Command Warlord is able to pick something up here as he does ult in. Does not actually have the E for him though. Will still get the kill. Mundo, interestingly enough, going in on Douyou, but as a very expected response between a Gwen-Mundo fight, DU just has an easy time, and now we're going to get 2 procs of Rift Herald on topside towers. Going to open up a pretty decent amount of ArtU's Rift. So we'll just see how well they're able to kind of come back. We can expect this is going to be another game that will have bounties, as they are 6k gold behind. Doggo is actually doing really well on his lonesome. He's going to use that shield bow to save him. Probably not even necessary in the large scheme of things, but yeah, it seems really tragic here. If you're ArtU here, it's like, how do you come back? You have 0-3, 1-1, 0-2, 0-1, 0-1. It's such a bad score line. You're almost at least half of the enemy CS, the only exception being the Hecarim. But I mean, 34 to 106, 55 to 92. It's a lot of CS difference. It's kind of hard to deal with. 8 kills to 1. I mean, it's a pretty bad position. Our Doggo is going to be getting the solo plates here, maybe picking up Bard, but the wave is kind of too big to deal with, so instead just doing a bit of a trade. Bard is still level 5, so if Bard is in trouble, he can't exactly use his ult to escape. I am not too sure what Alibye is doing there. He does see the ward that he's standing on, but kind of ignores it. Maybe he's just a bait, as the rest of his team is there, and they get a great Nautilus ult into the double Aurelia. Unfortunately, Aurelia will not hit the ult. Akali will finish up Caitlyn, as Gavin is in a really bad spot. We now see the 5 team members of UCLA Esports, 10 kills ahead, 10k close, gold ahead, and 2 dragons up, as once more the new season dragons seem to have shown themselves upon this rift. Looks like Mundo's maybe just trying his best to clear up the CS top lane, but he's unfortunately been forced into a Bramble Vest purchase, which, I mean, in the vacuum of the... Oh, never mind, hold on. Pause that thought, as Warlord might... Actually, never mind. Warlord did not have Champions Only enabled and ended up being a minion, and that will save Temetrius, possibly even giving another kill over. Nope. Ult's coming out, and the Bard Portal saving the side of ArtU. But as I was saying earlier, Bramble Vest on the Mundo is not that great when you're into double AP, and in fact, 3 AP if you count Nautilus. Not exactly an a damage dealer, but you still don't get much value out of Bramble. Mid, it's going to still be that Lissandra is going to be struggling for these trades, not really being able to get much off of Akali. Akali is going to be able to have a bit more presence to roam. Maybe get some deep vision. She is heading up to get the fruit. Good call on her part, as she'll get a lot of HP from that, suggesting that she will stay in the lane. Control word sees Mundo. Poro is probably going to go on, and if Aurelia gets a chance. Instead, she's just going to clear the wave. Looking bot side, Caitlyn is pushing in the wave to Vayne. Nautilus is hovering pretty decently, so there shouldn't be too much of a worry. They do go in, Vayne tumbling through. Oh my gosh, that was a marvelous hook to follow up the Bard ult, or the Nautilus ult, as Bard is the only one able to run away. Instead, we see here in the topside jungle Aurelia getting caught out, but I don't think it matters because it's Aurelia. Maybe not, because Lissandra ult is impactful. It will kill Aurelia, but Gwen, being really fed, already 4 kills in the game, will be able to snip down ArtU's esports team. So we'll just have to see what that gives, what gold ArtU can make of the Aurelia bounty. I don't think it's enough. It's probably not enough, as Alibye and Doggo will be taking the bot side turret. And item diffs are once again pretty strong. We have only 1 completed mythic on the side of ArtU, and that's on Hecarim, who has been farming best he can. Not to say that he's not been doing his part. Warlord is probably the one that's doing the best this game, also being the one least inconvenienced by either matchups or ganks or just the way lanes went out. He does have the tier, so I think we can suspect that Hecarim having a tier here suggests that he might even want to go Thimblewinter, because if you're going Chem Tank's already not that great an item, but if you're going it and tier, it would suggest that you're going for a really tanky build. Maybe we'll even see an Anathemas from him, and like kind of bypass more of the bruiserish items for the solid, I want to be tanky, bulky build. We do see Doggo here being a bit ambitious, maybe being able to get the double kill, but it does not look possible. Oh my gosh, the auto cancels coming out from Caitlyn because of the invis is going to give Doggo a splendid double kill as he sidesteps the Bard ult and not getting trapped in time. Doggo is going to now come up, unable to actually catch Lissandra before she escapes out to the mid side. Doyo is going to have a pretty nice kill here if Warlord tries to contest it. A bit ambitious by Warlord. Not the Rift Herald being quite healthy and Doyo being quite fed. Red side is looking pretty scary here. We're going to see Lissandra escape as the turret goes down. We're seeing top side and mid being pushed simultaneously. Akali once more taking all of the resources out of the hands of Hecarim, who has now actually accumulated a 30 CS deficit because of the amount of pressure he's been dealt with by UCLA Esports just constantly in his jungle. Bard will probably pick up that the Krugs are gone. Alibye getting a word out. We'll see Bard at the same time. Akali's going to probably back off here as she knows she's not necessarily the safest. Aurelia is backing off too, so it looks like a general move to the dragon here, as they will all be approaching Ocean Drake. Vayne and Gwen are already mid lane. They're pretty set up for it. They just don't have the vision yet. We'll see if Alibye will take the time to put out vision before they're able to contest it, or if it'll just be straight into dragon fight. Doggo might look for a little pick here. Vayne being really strong already. Does get the other side of Jerk. He's going a bit ambitious here, but that last bolt is able to strike down Bard, even though Doggo was trapped in time. Nice flash out of Megzy, avoiding the flash hook on the Nautilus. You'll see if Gwen chooses to just solo, and it seems like Gwen will just solo Dragon as the rest of the team applies so much pressure that there's honestly not much that ArtU can do to respond to all of UCLA's fights and different pressure and objective takes. Mundo is kind of just setting himself topside as there's a fight breaking out between Alibye and the rest of the team. Doggo might be able to pick up the rest of it, but oh my lord, Doggo is beyond doing well for his team. As we see even Warlord fall through tower dive, Doggo really being the MVP of this game, getting a lot of solo kills and just clutch survives. Mundo is still showing that he's really not that part of the game yet. He's dying rather quickly. Aurelia is able to stack minions to get closer to him. And, oh, that was a miss of a Q. 5-point strike may not hit him, but the backflip shuriken will. Here we do see the Rift likely getting the inhib here. We have an inhib open at 18 minutes. That is quite the commitment. If UCLA Esports is not able to capitalize on this, this will be a lot of gold being funneled into the side of ArtU, as the mid will forever push into their side and they'll be able to take it rather easily. But as we've seen, no tower is enough safety for ArtU, as UCLA has tower dove them rather frequently throughout the two games here. We do have the 20 kill disparity, 17k disparity. I think it's about game over here. We do see they're pushing out the bot of ArtU's base, and we'll just see how many more fights it takes before it all comes collapsing down. They are going to back once more. We do know Baron is coming up in about 90 seconds. Maybe they'll opt into getting a quick Baron at 20-minute mark. They have great Baron champions through Vayne and Gwen and Aurelia doing a lot of damage. We'll just have to see if that's where they opt into or try to finish it even before then. It's looking rather possible. Just one team fight in which only maybe one of UCLA's members dies would result in game end here. The amount of invading here is really crushing Hecarim's ability to farm. We have what was a 0 deficit as Bard gets picked up by Temetrius into a 50 CS deficit now built up between the junglers. And if we just look across the board here, it's not a fun numbers game. Even the supports are like hugely disparate. I mean, yeah, it's sports, but for the sake of the talking point, everyone is losing in farm here, and that's just to show both the laning capacities of UCLA Esports as well as the ability to just last hit, which is a very necessary skill to be proficient at League of Legends. Alibye is giving a bit of cover here, kind of forcing them between the turrets. It seems that ArtU will try to pressure the topside turret as they give up pressure to Gwen. Bard ult going far, not hitting anyone. Nautilus is getting a triple somehow ult knock-up, which is pretty good for the side of UCLA Esports. Temetrius in a sticky situation, Mundo doing 0 damage. Tower dive going out as Mundo actually does pick up the kill on Akali, but Mundo will now end up dying to one of the several anti-tank members of UCLA Esports. There is no escape from the Gwen, you are Mundo, and you are destined to die by the Snip Snip. Here we see Nautilus and Doggo likely just ending the game here. And yeah, that's going to be game over. And that was a fantastic first 2 games of UCLA Esports season.